Hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone, to the watch list powered by the One Eye Network. This is where we scout, evaluate, and stamp the names you need to know in Texas grassroots basketball. Today, we got Jaden Jones, 6'3" point guard out of Clark High School, class of 26, smart, skilled, 4.0 GPA. And he played with behind the scenes on a New Balance circuit, and he's stepping into a moment where it's clear he's ready to shine. Before we dig in, big shout out to our partners at the Brunch Spot and the Anna Cafe, both feeding the culture and keeping it connected to the community. Hey, Jane, thanks for getting up on a day that you're off and joining us for a little bit.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I got to follow you a lot this summer, so I got to see a lot of the things that I want you to share about today. But let's start off with an easy one. Give me like your first memory of basketball. When did this game like grab you?
Um, so I started playing when I was two, but I really started like falling in love for it whenever I would watch highlights. My brothers would show me games, and then I would just try to go out and do the moves that I would see, just try them on my little mini hoop that I would have, and I'd just be
Mhm.
there for hours every day.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. You talked about your brothers. Growing up, were there players you looked up to, pattern your game after?
Uh, yeah. So I think a big person that influenced like my passing type of play style is Ricky Rubio. I would look up his highlights and just watch him, see what type of passes he would make, see all the flashiness, and that would just take my passing to like a whole new level. Um, as far as like my scoring, I say like Jamal Crawford or D'Angelo Russell or Manu Ginobili. Like those three are just like staples in what I model my game after.
Man, it's interesting. Like you brought up those names and watching you play and seeing some of the craftiness, you can really see pieces of all of those guys um, within your play style.
Yeah,
Um, let's talk about the Clark basketball culture. How has it influenced you?
you know, we always preach toughness and brotherhood at Clark. We're also very structured as a system. Uh, I think Clark has just taught me like if you're gonna go to war with your brothers and always have their backs. Always stay sharp mentally. Never let someone see you weak. Like all of those things have just turned me into like a complete person, a better brother, better basketball player, better person.
Those great attributes. I was kind of wondering, with you having a 4.0, and I know you're at the top of a lot of academic accolades. How do you find balance, man? I mean, because I know your work ethic. I know the time that you spend in the gym. You must spend a lot of time with academics as well.
Yeah, academics is the biggest part of my life for sure. I think, you know, like hanging out with friends or something instead of going home and like doing homework, that's not going to take you as far as if you just spend an extra 30 minutes to an hour a day, just making sure you have a concept right or studying. Like that's going to open up so many more doors for you, not only academic wise, but if a school likes a kid, but this kid has a 3.5 and like me have a 4.0 and we're similar in talent, the school's probably going to take the kid with the 4.0. And I think that's a big motivating force for me using my academics to the best of my abilities.
Yeah, man, that's excellent, excellent. Let's kind of move over into the style of play and skill set. you've already named some of the guys you patterned yourself after. So, how would you define yourself as a point guard in one sentence or so?
Um, I definitely think I'm a two-way point guard. I think that's like the biggest thing people notice about me. I say I'm a two-way point guard. As of my offense, I say I'm more of a floor general. I like to get people involved, get my team involved, make the right pass, and then scoring. I say I'm a three-level scorer. I can get it from the inside, get the mid-range going, and I can also step out and shoot a three if I have to.
You know, one thing that I liked when we started describing yourself, you brought up defense first, and I think that's one of your uncanny attributes. You know, you take your size, your length, your skill set, and man, you're a definite disruptor to the other team's offense. You know, and then we kind of talked about the different scoring. You do score at all three levels. You know, and so, but I always like the fact that we talked about defense first. You know, and we talked about you brought up the floor general piece. I think that that's such an overlooked piece in basketball right now, and you do a great job with it. You know, and I tell coaches that they need to see you a couple of times or in a couple of different games, a couple of film sessions to really uh, grasp the attributes that you bring to a game. You know, because you do uh, not model your game, but like you kind of create and craft to what the game dictates. You know, and I know you take your scouting reports and put all those pieces together. That's just something, man, that I've really been impressed upon this last year and a half that I've gotten to watch you. You know, we know you're a smart guy off the court. You do a great job on the court, but what do you think factors in with your IQ how to set up teammates and control tempo when need be?
It's a lot of film study, a lot of in-game reps, but the main thing I look at when I look at setting my teammates up is matchups, breakdowns in the defense, weak points in the defense, just all of that. That comes from watching film. If I see like a little guy on one of our big guys, I run a certain player or take him through a certain action to get the big guy where he needs to take him and go to work.
Yeah.
Um, and as of like time management, clock management, every possession, I look up at the scoreboard before the ball like gets in or something. Always look at the scoreboard, see the score, see the time, and always be mindful of what needs to happen, whether it's a quick hitter or if we need to slow the ball down in our favor.
hmm So we talked about at the top of this segment. We talked about your defense. How I like the fact you brought up that first. What kind of goes through your mind with your defense that sets you apart as more than just a scorer?
So, um, honestly, I think being able to guard the ball can take you way further than how many points you're going to score. It'll win a lot more games. Like if you think of teams like OKC, um, even like Houston, I think all of those teams have good defensive principles, and that's what allows them to turn that defense into offense. And you know, as of myself, like there would be games where I'd have what 10 points, 11 points, but I was just taking my time and slowing the best guy down, shutting him down,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what takes our team to a bigger win than if I was trying to exert all my energy on offense. And that's just where my mindset of, okay, if I don't get mine, I'm shutting you down so you don't get yours, and my team can do the rest.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I think on the defensive side of the ball.
You know, in a year such as the class of '26, I think this is the best point guard class as a whole. You
Yeah,
know, with depth that it's going to be a dogfight, a matchup most nights. So it's going to be cool. I don't say cool; it's a terrible word, but it's going to be a great opportunity to see you match up with those different styles of play. You know, you jumped into an up and coming program, first year behind the scenes on the New Balance circuit.
Yeah.
What was it like playing with behind the scenes on that circuit? And then we'll go into your coaches in a minute.
Uh, the New Balance circuit is second to none. I think like the amount of competition, especially for it being, a new circuit. The
Mhm.
competition was there. You get the matchup against guys that had I had any other opportunity, I probably wouldn't have even seen them just on
Mhm.
TV or something. Uh,
Yeah.
Definitely grew my game so much, even like my mentality, my skills, my IQ. It just gave me an opportunity to skyrocket all of those.
So taking all those growth points and then add into the fact that you have Tony Crocker Pro, you have CJ Miles Pro, and they're inputting their knowledge, their guidance, their directions, their secrets to success. How what did that mean to you as a player and a person?
It meant so much, honestly. Just being around them taught me so much about how to love the game, how to approach the game. Taught me so much about work ethic. Like even apart from learning about different details and stuff about the game, like they taught me how to live and breathe it. I kind of already had an idea of it, but seeing it on that level, it just influenced me so much as how I approach the game.
So I'm always curious to see what carries over. They say defense travels and all those different pieces travel. But what did this experience plus the coaching mentoring pieces, how do you plan to carry that into the high school season with your senior year?
Um, Definitely my work ethic. I can I plan on instilling that into my team. Like as soon as we start getting into our practices and stuff, I think I can really get them to start working and getting the most out of every practice. Uh, Definitely learn how to be a leader. I think playing with all that competition definitely gave me a voice and taught me how to lead, even though people might be talented, people might have the same accolades as you. You still need to lead. And I think I'm going to take that straight to my high school, teaching young guys, teaching even the seniors on our team, just
Mhm.
leading them and giving them the most information that they need to the point where we can win.
You know, leadership and growth. For you as a point guard, how do you lead both vocally and by example? And one thing I want you to hit on is you're a soft spoken person, but I know you're a leader. So how do you kind of maneuver that? Because I don't think I've ever seen you raise your voice at anyone. Is that part of it?
Yeah. Um, so vocally, even though like I'm a quieter person by nature, I think like I really reach to my team because of how I play and how much I produce just as a player. Like people really look to me for like playing advice, and they look to
Mhm.
me because they know I do the right things and I can produce at such a high level. Um, I'll pull them aside for dead balls and stuff, but all like most of the time it's just my teammates coming up to me being like, hey Jay, what do you think, about this?
Mhm.
What do you think we should have done? What play do you want to run? And
Yeah.
that all comes from example. Like when you see me, I'm making great passes, hitting open shots, uh, picking up 94 feet, putting my body on the line. I think I think all of that, just all of that pays tribute to, the type of player I am, and people see that, and then they start following my example.
Yeah, and I don't want anyone to take away that you're not communicative because you very much are. Um, so, how do you keep confidence high even when your shots aren't falling or things aren't going your way?
So it's really about taking pride in the little things. I think a lot of people get caught up in, you know, oh, I'm shooting 30%, I'm shooting 25%. Like
Hmm.
if if you're, playing defense, getting steals, getting the ball to your team, and you're, in a position to win, then you should always be confident. And it doesn't matter how many shots you hit. If you're doing all of this on all the other aspects of the court, I think you should be the most confident. That's good. Like it's better than hitting 15, 20. Like
Hmm.
everyone's gonna remember the little stuff you did to help you win, not how many shots you took and made.
Yeah, that's great point. Great point. Let's start looking at season goals or move into the future a little bit. What do you have any personal goals for this upcoming season?
Uh, I definitely want to win a district championship. Um, for the first time out of 4 years at Clark, I think that would be huge. With the district championship, obviously, my goal is to win MVP this year, district MVP. Win a playoff game, definitely, because we haven't won a playoff game since I've been there. I think that would leave my mark at the school really
Mm-hmm.
well. Um, just fun, win as many games as possible, grow with my team, and just have a good last year.
Hey, so that let's talk about your GPA and your academic performance, academic profile. That's something along with basketball that you've been working towards your entire academic life. So, how do you see your grade point average and academic profile? How does that play into your recruitment?
Uh, I definitely think that having such a good academic profile, it definitely opened up and is still opening up a lot of high academic schools. I think schools that may not have reached if I had a lower GPA. I think all of them are reaching out to me, um, probably taking me over other recruits that may not have the same GPA as
Yeah.
me. I think just having that extra separation in my GPA that takes me over a bunch of recruits that may not have the same academic accomplishments as
You
me.
know, and that's so true, man. And we think about if we reflect on just this summer, and we still have the season to go, we still have a lot of things that happen. But I mean, you've received interest from lower Division 1 schools, Division 2 schools, Division 3 schools, and so this is one of those. You're one of those athletes that are going to get the opportunity to really choose what school you want based on what academics you want, and let it fall as it may. Um, I I just think that's amazing, man. I wasn't that great of a student. Um, Not advocating that. I think uh, if I had a different mindset, it could have been different for me. But I'm proud of you, man. I've spent time around you through the summer. I like you as a person, not just a player. Um, so let's go and kind of wrap this up with just a few more things, and we'll get you out of here so you enjoy your day off. But what's your favorite gym to play in?
Uh, for games, it would definitely be What's it called? I'm blanking.
That's fine.
Mission Conception. Mission
Oh,
Conception.
really?
That's the best game gym I've played in. And just for working out, I go to train anytime. That's like my favorite spot. It's a little
Yeah.
half court, um,
Mhm.
and I just go there late nights if I feel like shooting. Then it's always an option for me. I can blast music, just get some shots
Yeah.
up. It's just great.
All right, man. It's the clincher. Finish this sentence. Basketball to me is
Basketball to me is family. I think basketball's been around my life for so much. It's been there for me through good and bad. You know, I always spend time with it. I always spend time working on my relationship with basketball, my skills, everything. So you can almost relate it to like a family member, a brother, a sister. Like I think basketball is just such a close part of me.
that's great, man. Hey, and that's Jaden Jones, 6'3" point guard, Clark High School, class of 26. Smart, skilled, locked in with a 4.0, and ready to shine on the court and in the classroom. A quick shout out once again, the brunch spot and the Antler Cafe been good to us. Don't forget, for more breakdowns, reports, the realest grassroots coverage in Texas, hit us at the oneeyescout.com because this ain't for everybody. Oh, all right. Thanks, Jade.